Every member of this board ought to get a copy of that contract, because at the next meeting, absent some indication from the Inspector General, I will move to terminate it.
With GCS agents. I also, it's a subcontract company by the MTA for paratransit services. We work at the call center. We were here last month, and it's about the $152,900,000 approved contract for GCS to run the call center, and how it was broken up for certain numbers per year, and how we figured that it's not being followed.
They proposed and won a contract stating that we will pay the workers $13 an hour performing one duty. Instead, a majority of the workers are performing two duties. Individually proposed, yes, they combine the two into one job, and they still pay what they decide we're worth, $9 to $11 an hour, doing multiple jobs for the MTA, and that's not fair. Majority of the workers being minority, mostly black, it sends a signal to us that the workers, again, that our lives do not matter, we do not count, and we should and we do count. My mom said if you state to someone you do one thing, if you state to someone that you'll do one thing and you're well able to do it and you do not, that make you dishonest and lack integrity. It kills your ability to be trustworthy. That statement not only goes to an individual, but it goes to the people who are individuals running the company.
How could a vendor like such as GCS come get a government contract approved, signed, and from day one not have to honor anything in this contract? For the members to and workers to get together, vote in the union, and a year later still fighting with GCS for proper wages, fair treatment, and this just be looked over like nothing ever happened.
I worked with GCS. It will be a year next month on the 24th. I was sent to the hospital on October 8th due to the bedbug situation. On the 9th, I had to call out of work. I had an excuse. On the 10th, I was due to come back to work, but they took my sick time, and I was calling out over an excused absence. I feel it is unfair, the treatment that I have received. I've been traumatized now due to the fact that I don't know if I will bring this situation into my home.
During my time of employment, I have received bed bug bites. I brought home bed bugs. My house been inspected. They gave me a day off due to the bed bug situation. I know bed bugs is big in New York, but when you're working in the MTA building, I believe that's MTA's responsibility to help us clean it up so that we can work in a better place. Now, besides that, the point of this is we have a contract. Contract says pay us $13, $14. We're getting $9. We're getting $11. Why? We don't have answers. Everything is handed back down to GCS. MTA issued out the contract. MTA issued out the contract. MTA should be held responsible to make sure that we get paid and get our equal rights. We are not in the 1920s. This is 2015. It'll be 2016 making $9 wages at $1,600 a month rent. Is that livable for me? No, but I will make it work. I have to, but I shouldn't. I took the job so I wouldn't get on welfare. I took the job because I needed it. I found out during my time on the job I was supposed to get paid more money, so I got involved. Being involved is to stand as a community to help one another. MTA is a big, big corporation, and we need your help. We're asking you, we are basically begging you to please open up the contract, look at it, hold GCS responsible for what they're doing to us, and ask them why you're not paying these people what they need to get paid, because we agreed on this when we gave you the money funded by the government.
And I'm just speaking because I have worked and talked with a lot of the terminated workers, and it is really unfair if you go to the emergency room, if you're sick, you have a doctor's note, the doctor tells you to take off for 2 days, it's still counted as an absence, and these workers are still being terminated. The other thing that's really unfair as the other workers said. They are paying from $9 to $11 an hour. Now imagine if you're working somewhere and you go to get a raise after a year to 2 years, and they say, here's 5 to 50 cents an hour. So now instead of making $11 an hour, you're making $11.15 an hour, and you have to raise a family on that. Could you raise your family on that?
You recall, after these workers came last month, we did talk about the opportunity to provide a investigation or review of the contract and the working conditions. I know we have had conversations. Could you just bring us up to date on where that is, both for the board members and for the employees, so they understand how seriously we are taking these concerns?
Immediately following the meeting, last month's board meeting, the interim president of New York City Transit, Jim Farrar, got with head of audit Mike Fasili and the Inspector General Barry Kluger, and they began a due diligence review and more than that. It was our desire to come forward with those findings to the board in time for this cycle, but it's essential they do it right and look through everything, and they're making a commitment to do so before next cycle, and we will share that information with you. You've heard some of the comments because some of the employees there have seen us there, but we need to do it as quickly as possible and bring these matters to a head in terms of what actions we may need to take. Mr. Merdler?
Mr. Chairman, and this is directed particularly to counsel. In Goodstein against the City of New York, the Court of Appeals of the State of New York ruled that good faith is an inherent obligation of contract. I have heard enough today to demonstrate, to my view, that there is no good faith on the part of this vendor. The pay situation is illegal if it is as represented by them. The working conditions are intolerable. You need to have a detailed report of every person who has been fired or terminated in the last year, and every member of this board ought to get a copy of that contract, because at the next meeting, absent some indication from the Inspector General, I will move to terminate it.